Welcome back. Now, author Katlego Rammusa penned Motswako, The Beginnings. That's a concoction of African and regional hip-hop music celebrating stars who made a contribution to the Motwako music genre. Now, the book is an integration of interviews and biographies of artists such as HP, Casper Nyovest, Kulichana, Boiti, and even Duk Singanga, to name but a few. Now, Rammusa says the book seeks to merge culture, dialect, even lifestyle within music. He joins me in studio right now to unpack the book and a little bit more. Thank you so much for the time. So, interesting book this is, certainly. Why did you feel like you needed to write about this, especially the beginnings?
You know, they normally say people who don't know their history, they're like trees without roots.
Yeah.
So I felt like I have to jot down the legacy of Motwako because I've been a fan since 2003, since I saw Mabana's track by HP.
Wow, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to be a rapper, actually. I was staying in Mafikeng and there was this movement called Lefoko.
Yes.
I wanted to be part, but I didn't have the skill to write. So I thought to myself, how can I contribute?
Talk to people about Lefoko as well, about what that actually was. I mean, if that's the inspiration, let's talk about what that was.
Yes, Lefoko, actually, it was a movement led by HP in Mafikeng. It was bringing artists who are coming up, like guys like Prof Fresher, KT, but Casper was still young at the time. There were ciphers around Mega City. There were ciphers at Mabana. You know, guys like Morafi used to come and inspire us. Guys like Momulimi, Botuksi, Bojaba, Bo Prof Sobukwe, you know. So yeah, that's how it all started. And
this was a melting pot of understanding your own culture and being able to then use that in rap or hip-hop culture and then translate your stories to the rest of the country, and hopefully parts of the world would also be willing to listen.
Yes, sir. You know, Motswako is all about teaching a dialect.
Yeah.
The initial purpose of the genre, which is Setswana. However, it's a mixture of Setswana and English, a bit of Afrikaans, but predominantly Setswana and English rap. So
then you get into wanting to write the book as well. And when you get into it, you think to yourself, this is where it comes from. This is where it currently stood at the time when it inspired you to then write this book. Let's talk about the artists that are then involved in this. I mean, you've mentioned quite a few, Duk Singanga, even the likes of Morafe, and must be made note of as well, because, you know, the likes of Kulichana here couldn't be without all of those as well. How important has that growth and that finding a route been for the growth of Motwako?
You know, it all started when I met Prof Sobukwe of Buffy Chile. Remember, they are the ones who started this movement and Crowded Crew. We're talking about guys like Bruce Bito. We're talking about Boston, you know. So, yeah, meeting Prof, I had to sit down with Prof, and then he was explaining to me the movement. However, I have been in the movement. So, interviewing the artists, it was just for the credibility and the formality part of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wrote the history, how it started, where is it now, where is it going, the pop culture, the influence, and the milestones the movement has reached.
You're ultimately, I mean, obviously, other than just a fan, but you're a fan who thought this was needed for history to know that there was this great genre called Motwako music. This is how it started, and this is its relevance then to the country as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I felt the need because a lot of people are saying Motswako is fading, but however, it has resurrected through a book.
That's the important part then.
Yes, sir.
Why do they say it's faded?
You know, back then when HP was still alive, I mean, he was the brand ambassador of Motswako. So whatever that he said, whatever that he represented so Motswako. So a lot of people thought that Motswako has died because there's no one talking a lot about it anymore. But however, the movement is still there.
Then you wonder about the artists in this range, because if it is still there, when somebody looks at Motwako right now, you wonder, because Dukes actually released an album not so long ago.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't as widely acclaimed as his previous work. I mean, one goes all the way to remembering 525,600 minutes.
It's a classic.
An absolute classic from him as well. Then you have Kulichana.
Yes.
And people might ask and say, Where's everyone else? Where's the Mo Mulimis?
The guys are there. You remember last year, December, there was a massive event which celebrated Motswako called the Maftown Heights.
Yes.
Where all Motswako artists were there performing, and then fans flocked to Newtown in Johannesburg to celebrate Motswako movement. So yeah, the genre is still massive. The genre is still strong.
Does Maftown Heights still bring in the same amount of people as it used to?
People flock. They flocked from Maftown. There were buses from Taung, from Botswana. There were buses coming to Newtown, yes, to celebrate Motswako last year.
How many years has it been now that Maftown Heights has been happening? Is that over 20 years now?
Sure, it has been a long time. I remember it started, I think it was 2011, inside the baseline.
Yes.
And we moved outside, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, it has been long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, Mabana as well. There's perhaps the concern then, if you're able to talk about the state of that center and why it has become the way it is at present.
Sure, I don't think people understand the importance of Mabana because it has been a hub for development. All these Motswako guys, most of them, they learned music. They learned how to...
Let's tell everybody, where it is as well, etc.
It's in Mabana.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Mabana is in Mabana. It's a cultural center and a Department of Sports and Arts and Culture in Northwest. So what they did with Mabana, they were bringing young talent. Guys learned how to play violin, all kinds of instruments.
Wow.
They learn music, the notes. Even most of them, they don't come from a musical school, but they learned music from Mabana.
Why has it dilapidated or faded as much? Is it just the artists that have been made from it not giving back to it? Is it government not caring about it as much? What do you think is the reason for that?
I think it's politics because that center has brought your household names.
Yeah.
Like Kespanyo Vest, like Morafi, Bokulichana, Bomesta Momulimi. It has brought a lot of household names. So I don't know. Maybe it's jealousy. I don't know.
Wow, I think that's very interesting as well, because if we're concerned about the state of places like those, it then goes back to the question around whether Motwako can actually revive itself then again if you don't have areas like that. Can Motwako then pick up without places like that?
Motwako can revive as long as the OGs, the current artists who are in the mainstream, can take the baton to the young guys. Like you have guys like Heshwan who are young. We have guys like Streets. We have many guys, Bonoti, Yeah.
Right now, we're actually showing images of Mabana as it currently stands. And I mean, one can ultimately just see what it ultimately looks like right now. Concerned about that dilapidated space then and the state of it. It was formerly an arts council, and after 7 years, it has actually been torched during a protest. The dire state of the center is said to be affecting the development of upcoming artists as well, coming out of the Northwest province. Does this make the Northwest a little bit poorer in terms of artistic talent that comes out of this province?
True that, because it has been a temple. Yeah, it has been a temple for artists. Guys explored their talent. Guys find out their gifts in that temple. And then they went nationwide. They went to Africa. They went worldwide, like Bokuli. Kuli, I remember he won an award in the USA. That's massive. From a guy who comes from Mabana. Guys like Casper,
So where to from here, do you think, then, for Motwako?
Motswako has a bright future. Remember, Motswako also, Botswana contributed to the movement. Guys like Zeus, there are young guys who are actually passionate and doing Motswako in Botswana.
Is Zeus still around?
Yeah, Zeus is still around.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow,
yes,
okay.
they are taking the bait and they are actually strong. They are massive in Motswako. Botswana guys, I think they are not given the platform to break into the mainstream. Because remember, South Africa is the melting pot of this genre.
Do you think South African hip-hop and rap in general can pick itself up again? Because it seems to have been hidden completely under the growth and the expansion and the wonderful growth that is, of course, of the music that we currently see around the world, whether it be Afrobeat, right through, of course, to other genres.
Remember, most of the time, hip-hop is classical.
Yeah.
For example, Motwako, they've sampled old songs. So they bring old songs to the now generation. So as long as hip-hop remains classical, it will remain.
That's going to be interesting, because if it remains classical, does it appeal to the now generation?
And then the then generation.
Does it? Will it still appeal to them, do you think? Because some of them will say, but I don't know these songs from the past that you're speaking about then. And now you want me to know this current song. How do you match the two?
Remember Music and Light by HP?
Yes.
It was an old song. So the old people will relate to the song. And then he made it to the now generation. And then the young people would relate to the song as well.
As the great...
That's the magical about Motswako.
As the great Jabu himself would say, actually, what would Jabba be without a sample?
Yes,
so absolutely, very important to have a sample. Katlego, thank you so much. Absolutely great to still keep something like this then, not just in history, but even in the now, so that people still are aware that it does still exist. The beginnings. Do we have the continuations or another book coming out after that?
Yeah, there are many projects coming out. Yeah, the second edition will come. I want to see a movie of Motwako. I want to see it played go theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to translate to Swahili, to Spanish. I want it to go worldwide.
That would be very important and very significant. Thank you so much for the time, though.
Pleasure,
especially for joining us in studio. The author then of Motswako, The Beginnings, Katlego Rammusa, then joining us here in studio for that interesting interview.